You know what fascinates me the most about BJP, and I know that I'm going to get a lot of criticism for this. They somehow scout and pick the best leaders very, very consistently. Whether that's Vajpayee, Modi ji, Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, Manohar Parrikar, Nitin Gadkari, Yogi ji. And one example that I can think of in the context of sports is Alex Ferguson. Parsh is a big fan of Manu, and he often says that Alex Ferguson had an eye for great talent. Now, when it comes to sports, also, you can see a kid playing in an extraordinary way, and you can choose that kid and say that maybe this kid will go on to become a great player. But when it comes to politicians and choosing a national leader, most of these people have spent 2 decades as a nobody only to then become a
Even
somebody.
Narendra Modi, who knew Narendra Modi before 2002?
Exactly.
Right.
And I also remember certain anecdotes of Narendra Modi in the 1970s and 80s where he was just another Karyakarta. My question is, what is so special, or what is the methodology of leader scouting of the BJP?
What
that
is
they-
their HR department doing right?
Basically right.
Exactly, for your
Because
corporate.
they're able to scout leaders
Yeah.
who come out and then become somebody after 20 years. And politics or leadership is not something that you can gauge in 90 minutes or even one full year, right? You don't know when this person is going to behave in what way. So now that all these leaders are coming to the surface, you understand that there's something has been done right
Yeah.
20
And what
years
is that
back.
something?
What is that something?
So I think that's a brilliant question, Ganesh, right? That what is BJP doing right? You may agree, disagree with BJP. And in fact, you should, right? If you want to, right? To your audience. But what are they doing right? They're producing leader after leader. Remember, we used to say this thing with the Australian cricket team.
Exactly.
क्या इनका एक बॉलर रिटायर्ड होता है, दूसरा उतने 150 की स्पीड से बॉल फेंकता है. Then how can they consistently create, and then they realize that they have a very smart domestic cricket, right? Our domestic cricket before IPL was not that smart, right? Our Ranji trophies and all were little lackluster, right? They're not producing constantly amazing cricketers, right? Versus now IPL is factories creating a lot of. That's why Indian team is also because of the function of IPL,
Yeah.
right? So what they're doing right is, I think the major attribution is RSS. RSS is a factory to create good leaders. In fact, the one of the basic ethos of RSS is called Charitra Nirmana.
Charitra Nirmana.
Charit Nirmana, that we are here, our shakhas and our bodhiks and our pravas and our various prakalp, their various, various organizations. There are almost 42 organizations, from Sanskrit Bharati to Sanskar Bharati to Vigyan Bharati. All these 42 organizations are towards Charit Nirmana, basically character building, right? Which is a long process. I can't create your character in the way I want in a day, in a workshop, in a year. It's such a long life lived. It should be a lived experience rather than a tuition class, right? So, and I can say with decent conviction that Narendra Modi is the best product of the factory called RSS. Why? Because, and RSS identifying him and BJP identifying. That's the scouting part. That first of all, a training is happening, and out of the training, I am also choosing the best person. So these two processes are happening brilliantly: the training process and the scouting process, both, right? And the training process is quite large enough. Let's say we'll take the example of the brilliant case, the best case scenario, which is Narendra Modi, right? So Narendra Modi is born and brought up in a 10 by 10 house. He was selling tea after the school hours in the station. For him, poverty is a lived experience. Versus Rahul Gandhi, I'm giving a contrast not for the political, so that someone has a contrast. For Rahul Gandhi, poverty is a tuition class with a tutor, that to tutors like Jairam Ramesh and Sam Petroda, which don't understand poverty themselves, right? When Narendra Modi was living in a 10 by 10 house, someone like Rahul Gandhi was living in a palace under SPG protection, right? So the context is very different. And then someone like Narendra Modi joins RSS, and he understands society for next 15 years. A lot of people say Narendra Modi has a family. Narendra Modi doesn't have a family. He doesn't understand family. But Narendra Modi have lived, ate food, a breakfast or a lunch and dinner in more than thousands of houses. And that's the very interesting. You know, in RSS, it's almost directed. You will not eat food in a hotel. You have to eat food in a, for a karyakarta, for a pracharak, you can't live even in a dharmshala. You have to live in somebody's houses. Convince someone. I have to convince Ganesh, मैं आज आपके घर रहूंगा. Ganesh, I'm coming for dinner. So they self-invite.
What is the reason for that?
So that if I go to Ganesh's house, right, I will understand a podcaster's house. If I come to Shantanu's house and eat food, I will understand the family of a homeschooling family and someone who writes. If I go to a farmer's house, a teacher's house, a banker's house, an industrialist's house, a poor house, so I will getting so many experiences. I mean, I will be living those experiences, and if I stay over in their houses, even more, I'll see their bathroom and their toilet, what kitchen they have, what do they cook in the breakfast. So I live, and Narendra Modi must have lived in thousands of houses during his Karyakarta days. And can you imagine living in somebody's houses? It's such a lived experience, right? Because if you live in the houses, their small fights, how they're scolding their kids, what is the small fight between husband and wife, are they respecting the elders in the house, what are the photos they're putting, is it a actor's photo in their house or a Krishna's photo in the house, right? What is the culture in the house, how they're getting up in the morning, are the slippers outside the house or inside the house, every fabric of the house you'll understand, right? And you'll do that every day for 15 years, 365 days a year. He is going to a new house. So that's the training of whole of India. Okay,
Grassroots understanding of the society.
society, right? And now he transgress himself to BJP as a Karyakarta. Now what is he doing? He's saying, now my societal knowledge should translate into a voting behavior. Before in RSS, I was seeing you as a citizen of India. Now I'm seeing you as a voter. Will you vote for me or not? My ethos are matching with your ethos or not? Shall I change my ethos? My ethos means BJP's ethos cater to you. See, BJP is a philosophy which I have to sell to you, right? It's like a content which I have to sell you, right? Or maybe I will change your ethos only so that you will like my content, right? Which then happened for 15 years again.
Basically, it's market research for 15 years only to understand how
So
to design a great campaign.
first he understood the society, the TG, and then he see that how to organize this TG for to buy me. Buy me means to vote for me. Voting is nothing but buying me, buying my concept, right? Next 15 years, and that to multiple states. So a map of India is again a tuition class for Rahul Gandhi, but that's a lived experience for Narendra Modi. He lived in a Himachal or a Kashmir or a Bengal or a Tamil Nadu or for long, not for 2 days, for months together, for managing the election, for managing a campaign, for managing a Rath Yatra, let's say Rath Yatra, and which is very surreal, interesting thing that today Prime Minister Narendra Modi did the Pran Pratishtha of Ram Mandir, and he's the one who managed the Rath Yatra from Somnath to Ayodhya for Lal Krishna Advani on so many things, and today he's the Prime Minister and it's happening, right? It's a very interesting coincidence, or I say a Devayog, not a Sanyog, right? Then he's the Prime Minister. But again, while doing that, right, he might have gained far more experience as the Lal Krishna Advani, because Lal Krishna Advani was a stage, like the face for it, right? But he was managing in which state will go, where will we sleep, where the toilets will be used, how Karyakartas will eat food. He's doing, and he's did that for 15 years. And then all of a sudden, after doing all of this, he became the Chief Minister of Gujarat, right? And then he learned administration of a state like Gujarat for 13 long years. And then BJP projects him as the Prime Minister face. And then credit goes to BJP. The way credit for Yogi Adityanath goes to Narendra Modi and Yogi Adityanath, the credit for Narendra Modi becoming the chief Prime Minister candidate. I'm not saying the Prime Minister. Prime Minister people voted for him. Prime Minister candidate, the credit goes to the BJP and Sangh, the structure who decided, because he was not the first choice. Advani ji was still surviving, and he was the Prime Minister face for long in the post Atal era. And Narendra Modi was almost the third level leader, because the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha was Sushma Swaraj. The leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha was Arun Jaitley. So these were the top two leaders, and Advani ji was the mentor for these two. So these three could have been the obvious choice. Chief ministers are like the second level leaders, and in chief minister also there was a chief Shivraj Singh Chauhan also.
Yeah.
Right. But when party identified that the Gujarat model is a talked about thing, right? He's the Hindu Hriday Samrat also, and he's the development guru also. And he's popular even in a Uttar Pradesh, which is not a Gujarati state, in a Madhya Pradesh and a Bihar also. And reading the mind of the people and catapulting someone who is like a third level leader to top leader against the egos of many. I'm sure the ego of Advani ji might have hurt. I don't know. But the ego of Sushma Swaraj or a Jaitley ji or a Rajnath ji, who were a far more senior leader than Narendra Modi war that time, might got have hurt that time. But party took the decision because he was a more meritorious person and who was more capable of winning elections, right? And then he worked as a prime minister and understood the governance of a country. Earlier he was a governance of a state and a country, and the international governance also. And this is Narendra Modi, right? And when Narendra Modi comes at the helm of affairs, right, he started using the way he catapulted himself, or the party catapulted him on the national stage. can I create a battery of leaders who are young and experienced at the same time? And then he created a norm of 75 years, that someone should be 75, should be in active politics, right? And then he started grooming politicians against the popular political acumen. So in Uttar Pradesh, which is a very OBC politics, he gives a sannyasi chief minister. In a Gujarat, which runs on a Patel politics, he gives Vijay Rupani, which is a non-Patel chief minister. In a Maharashtra, which run on a Maratha politics, he gives Devendra Fadnavis, a Brahmin, who is a non-Maratha, as a experiment on a merit, right? Not getting bogged down by the popular narrative. In a Haryana, which runs on a Jat politics, he gives a Khattar, who is a non-Jat. In Jharkhand, which runs on a tribal politics, he gives a Raghubar Das, who is a non-tribal, right? Some of the experiment failed, maybe, or maybe did not give as much result as he wanted, as Narendra Modi wanted, or Amit Shah wanted, but some of them gave results, right? And then a lot of these people are organic entry. Then he also poached a lot of people from outside, because in organization, like, some of the CEOs are organically grown CEOs, but some, even Infosys and Wipro, took a lot of CEOs from outside. I'm sure you must have seen, right? Even Wipro, which is like a kind of a family-run company, but like a family-run smart company, but they took a lot of external CEOs. Infosys, which is an amazing battery of people, took a lot of external CEOs. So at times, BJP also took some external people. Someone like a Hemant Biswa, who was a hardcore congressman and became a chief minister end up becoming a chief minister of Assam, or a literal trainer like K. Annamalai, who's not a any party, but he's ex-IPS officer. I am Lucknow studied, OBC, comes from a Kisan family, and made a party president against the wills of a lot of local leadership who might be senior in age. So I think this scouting for talent versus scouting for a second name. See, Rahul Gandhi is there because of a Gandhi. Akhilesh Yadav is there because he has Yadav surname. Right? Abhishek Banerjee is there because he comes from Mamata Banerjee's family. Udayanidhi Stalin is there because he comes from Karunanidhi's family. They are not there because of merit. They're there, they become their second name. And if you see their merit in the parliament currently, that's like abysmal. Rahul Gandhi's attendance in current parliament, 17th parliament, is between 40 to 50%. If you ride a bicycle from Rahul Gandhi's house in Delhi to parliament, it takes 10 minutes.
Okay.
And your attendance is 50%. And the national average is 80%. You might be thinking, koi aata hi nahi hai. So, and yani ki lot of people are coming 90 to 95%. The people like Rahul Gandhi is pulling to 80%.
And what is the attendance of Modi ji and Yogi ji?
I'll come to Yogi. Let me complete the attendance of a couple of others,
Okay.
right? Akhilesh Yadav was in parliament till recently, and then he became in Vidhan Sabha. He was a parliamentary from Azamgarh. His attendance was 33%, man. Abhishek Banerjee, who is the pota nephew of Mamata Banerjee, his attendance currently, in current parliament, you can't even guess. It's 15%, man.
15%.
15%, 15, not 50. 15%. And when every parliamentarian gets a house and a bungalow in Lutyens, Delhi, Lutyens, Delhi, it's full with the bungalows of these MPs. They get like a 4 BHK with a garden, with guard and a cook in Delhi, right? And they get 20 to 25 tickets to and fro their constituency every year. So ticket bhi de diya, ghar bhi de diya, tab bhi nahi aa rahe, right? This is the performance. So they are not there. I think my larger point is, they are not there because of their performance. They're there because of their second name, right? Versus when Yogi ji was in parliament, his attendance was between 85 to 90%. And in fact, in Yogi ji's case, so I'm sure parliaments get adjourned very often, right? And whenever the parliament gets adjourned, people go back to their homes, because their homes are very nearby, right? They can go back or they have two more parking lots. They go to the central hall where they gossip around, right? Like a party across party line, or they go to the parliament canteen, which is a very yum food. Earlier it was 10 paisa ka samosa. Now Narendra Modi made it like a whatever the market price is. So now samosa comes in 10 rupees, I guess, right? So whatever the price is, so you go home, you hang out in the canteen, or you go to the central hall. But Yogi ji was not in. If the parliament is adjourned, he used to go to the library of the parliament. He has issued. He is the top issuers of the books in the parliament library when he was in the parliament, right? So you are seeing that how someone like Yogi Adityanath is training himself also, right? He is asking almost 300 questions to the Modi government between 2014 and 2017. Well, Rahul Gandhi is asking 0 questions. Rahul Gandhi should ask more questions to Modi government.
Yeah.
But Yogi Adityanath is asking when the AIMS is coming to my area, when the fertilizer factory is coming to my area, when Japanese encephalitis, which is called Dimagi Bukhar in that area, is becoming a routine immunization in the immunization routine of for the kids in that area. He's pushing his own government to do better work in his area. versus a Rahul Gandhi who is not even showing up in the parliament, right? So that's why I think whenever someone says I disagree with Modi or Yogi, I'm like, surely do, but match their hard work with the hard work. You can't flirt with politics on weekends and say, oh, EVM rig ho gaya, right? I think that's a shoddy comment.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for watching the Indian Business Podcast. If you find value in our work, please hit that subscribe button because for you, it might be a zero effort task. But for us, that subscriber count is an important instrument to get great guests to our podcast and to make this podcast better for you. So if you find value, please subscribe.